We are live. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to HoGaLe's Global Astrology, and welcome to the next installment, of course, in HoGaLe. Thank you for all of you who have already joining us already. The ladies, of course, need no introduction, but I do every week, of course. Here to my I always do it the other way. There we are.
Well done. Well done.
To my right, we have Lady G, and we're kind of matching colors today. I'm in roses, and I think Lady G has butterflies.
Oh, and I'm in black, although I should be celebrating.
Yes.
Okay.
We're coordinated today.
Indeed, and I've got my, as you can see, dark t-shirt underneath. Right, folks, today is actually quite a complex show. And before we dive straight into the show, I think there's just quite a lot to talk about beforehand. So one of the things, and I imagine, Lena, you're going to have extra stuff to say on this as well. Of course, we need to talk about the fires, of course, that have been happening in Hawaii, and of course Maui in particular. So that's going to be one of our first questions, Lena. You may have read on it already, but that's one of the first questions. So just so you know, we're going to get a read on that, and I'm going to explain a little bit of the astrology around that. What else do we have to talk about as well? Sadly, as well, as many people may know already, we just want to give our thoughts and prayers as well to Cash Peters. Many of you will know now he's going through a really tough time at the moment because his cat, famous cat Olive, sadly has been given a cancer diagnosis, unfortunately. Yeah, and he's said that the experts say she's only got a couple of months to live. So if you guys haven't seen that video, go to his channel, and he describes it all. It's quite moving, actually. I must say, I felt a little bit, you know, it was just like very moving, very moving. So Cash, just so you know, because we know we all support each other, well, pretty much in the community. So just thoughts and prayers and lots of love, and let's hope that she has as comfortable time as possible. Before we go on to Maui as well, one of the things I want to talk about again is the power, the healing power of humor. Yes.
Yes.
Humor. Now, the three of us know, particularly from last week's show, without naming names, some people can't take a joke. Yeah. We're not going to go into the details, but I found out someone wrote the three of us, emailed to the three of us to express their disgust and outrage. Fine. But one of the things I wanted to talk about, and I think it really is important to say, and I also say this to all the readers as well, look, we all have audiences, we all have people that follow us and stuff like that. And of course, that can come with a lot of responsibility as well. However, I think the important thing to remember, one of the most important things to remember about being a light worker, and one of the most powerful elements of the light, is humor. Remember, Winston Churchill, not a perfect man, once said, and I said it on my Thursday fry up, and he said, when you make somebody laugh, you give them a holiday. And so true. When we're in our deepest, darkest moments, very often, even if it's an inappropriate joke, it can actually bring a person out of that shadow and that darkness. And I just think, now look, the vast majority of you found the whole situation hilarious because it was absurd, and we did say for entertainment purposes only.
Yes.
But it's just that point, particularly as well with this show, you know, guys, anything could happen. We don't know what is going to happen on the show.
No, we have no idea.
We have no idea. Sometimes we say something and it just becomes an absolute fireball, and there's nothing we can do about it. But that's also what as well makes the show special, I think. So I just wanted to say, let's remember laughter. And one little thing, have you ladies seen The Witches of Eastwick? Do you remember that film from the 80s with Cher? Anyway, long story short, I think it's Susan Sarandon's character has fallen over the banister and she's hanging on for dear life. And they're like, oh my God, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And there's a bit where she can't hold on anymore and she loses her grip. And they shout to her, she's falling down, she's going, ah! And they said to her, laugh, laugh. And she makes herself laugh, and she falls, and she hovers above the ground and floats. And that's what a good naughty laugh is like. And especially if, like me, you saw Spitting Image the musical the other day. Outrageous. Lena, you wanted to say something? Please share.
Yes. Well, something to celebrate. Australia beat France, and our women's soccer players are in the semi-finals of the World Cup. And
Fabulous.
on Wednesday, thank you. And on Wednesday, Hoagie, we play you.
What?
England, Australia, our Wednesday night. So that would be your
what's the
Wednesday
sport again?
morning.
You said the what World Cup? Something World Cup?
Oh, shame on you. Soccer, World
Soccer.
Cup.
I thought you said
Women's
soccer. Oh my
football.
God.
World Cup. I just stressed the word.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm out of the loop with it when it comes to soccer and sports in general.
I know, but I'm just putting it out there. And I will take this opportunity to say it'll probably be contentious too. But this World Cup actually involves countries from around the world. Unlike the American thing, which is unique, I think, the World Series that Americans play against each other. What is that? I'm sorry, Miami versus Delaware.
Come on, you'll get us into trouble again.
What is the World Series?
I don't know, but they take it as seriously as you do soccer. I don't get it. My thing on football, just give them each their own ball and they'd have to fight over
let them
it.
go home.
Yes.
Bless. Okay, ladies. So shall we, are you ready to start the show? Shall we begin?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. So now, I actually pulled cards on this with the Maui thing, just really as the story was coming to me. To be honest, I hadn't seen any pictures and stuff like that, and in fact, it was only after the show that I was able to see the sheer extent of the damage, like basically apocalyptic. I think that's not an exaggeration to say, particularly for those people there. That's the first time I learned of Luania. What's the city, Lena? Luania?
Lahaina. It's
Lahaina.
Yeah.
Destroyed. It's gone.
It's gone. And it was the historic capital of the Kingdom of Hawaii before colonization.
Wow.
Well, the problem there is most of the buildings are all built of wood, and in that area is so old that they're just,
Bless them. Bless them. I just looked and it was just like, wow, my goodness. So what I wanted to do is just to show a quick demonstration, and it's going to involve a bit of astrology and tarot. And you're probably thinking, huh? Because sometimes these things can be so complex, I thought I'd come up with a very simple, straightforward way to describe it. Now, Lena and Lady G, but particularly Lena, when you think of the Empress card, what is the planet you associate with the Empress card?
Venus for me.
Oh, really? I thought you called it Jupiter.
No, I have said it has Jupiter properties, but I think it's the Venetian card.
Oh, okay.
But she does expand everything, and that's Jupiter's role.
Absolutely. So basically the Empress, because of her expanding qualities, and for the purpose of illustration, I've given her those characteristics to Jupiter, because Jupiter has a masculine and feminine expression. Jupiter at the moment is in sidereal Aries, which is a fire sign. The Empress expands everything like Jupiter. Fire signs are what? Heat. Yeah, heat. As you guys know, I said when Jupiter moved in sidereal Aries, we'd have issues with heat. Down here, the Emperor is Mars energy. Yeah.
Oh,
and
so it's opposing energies.
Leo. But they're actually, believe it or not, they're trining each other. Signs in the same element are in trine, which means they boost each other. Boost. The Empress is expanding the energy of the Emperor, Mars.
Oh, yuck.
And together they've had what? A fire baby, the Sun.
Yeah.
The Sun is currently in sidereal Cancer, but moving into Leo. But in Western astrology, it's already in Leo. And we also have what? The Lion's Gate. So all of this has come together, and basically we have like the astrological equivalent of a fire baby. So what I wanted to ask here is, where is it? Where is the thing here? Now, look, guys, this will probably, when we go into September and Jupiter starts to go retrograde, and when Mars moves out of sidereal Aries on around about the 18th of August, then we might begin to see things walk back a bit, but not yet. We've not hit the peak yet. So the question is, someone asked me, where is it? Where is it? Question number 1, forgive me. Here we are. So this is coming from Kathy Holocombe. Hello, wonderful HoGaLe's team. Do you see the Maui fire getting under control and getting put out soon? Also, will the residents be able to afford to rebuild? Thank you for all that you do. So let's ask that question.
Yeah. Janet says here, because no one knows yet the real cause of the fire, but one of the things, well, 2 of the things that made it go crazy was these huge freak winds from a hurricane 500 miles away. But Janet says here, I heard that the real problem was a non-native grass that was introduced in the 19th century. It can grow up to 6 inches a day and then gets totally dry.
Which fuel. Oh, that's terrible. And that's what happens, unfortunately, when seeds and plants and animals are put in the wrong place. That's why in Australia, isn't it, Lena? The rules are really strict for Antipodeans.
Yes, not strict enough, but yes.
Wow.
Another comment is that the Maui Humane Society has a wish list on Amazon if you want to contribute. I hope that's legit.
Yeah, I'll have to. Yeah, let's hope it's legit. That's a very good question.
So can they rebuild?
Can they rebuild? Yeah. For that.
No.
Will the residents be able to afford to rebuild?
No.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, fire is so devastating.
Afford to rebuild. And again, this highlights again global warming. It is real. For those that don't believe it, it is real.
And let me share something that really gives me the screaming irrits is when something catastrophic happens in any country, like in Australia or a major bushfire or something, the politicians all come forward and say, well, it's not the time to talk about climate change now because there's this devastating thing happening. We can't talk about it now. It would be inappropriate.
Yeah.
Oh! Yeah.
Yeah. The denial has to
talk about it.
The denial has to stop. We live on one Earth. I know Elon Musk is saying we're all going to live on Mars, and there's so much. There is so much that is not even factored into that conversation. The space radiation alone, by the time you reach there, pretty much all of your body's mitochondria could have been potentially destroyed until they find a way to. Anyway, never mind.
Yeah.
But yes, it is.
And the arrogance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, I can go if you like.
Go for it, Lena.
It starts here with the Ace of Wands, which is a good, get off the ground and do something thing. Green shoots emerging. King of Swords, I think someone will take it in hand and get it going. But, then I think there'll be a real slowdown. You know how it is after all these catastrophes. There's this surge of compassion and intention, and then it'll completely slow down, followed by a compromise here with the Six of Pentacles and the Devil. So what I'm getting is they'll start to rebuild, and then there'll be problems with money coming through.
Wow. Lady G, what do you have?
Well, what I have for rebuilding, when it comes to the home front, etc., the path forward is filled with obstacles. Okay. So they're going to have obstacles to rebuild. Also, at the center of it, we have government, or we have those in the know going into it. I think this is our astrology, and then the weather and all of that stuff that's happening.
That's it.
Now, have you watched my what is this? Here we go. Now they're out in the cold. They're, have nothing. The challenge is judgment about the burden that they're carrying, that this is really a difficult time for them to go forward. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, weirdly enough, I pulled 5 cards, and 2 of them are the same as Lady G's. Astonishing. Absolutely astonishing. So here, in regards to the situation, 3 of Wands. Yeah. So again, the Wands, particularly the 2s and the 3s, often have a lot to do with entrepreneurship and stuff like that, particularly the 3 of Wands. You see here, quite literally, a man on an island looking out at the sea. I mean, how appropriate, because obviously these winds. Did you describe it, Lena, as what, a dry hurricane? Did I hear that from you?
Yeah, that's what it was called.
Yes. So
you get the winds, but not the rain. Nightmare.
Yeah. And here you can see waiting for the ships to come in. So this could be as well, quite literally waiting for federal aid, support, because it's been so devastating. And let's also as well remember the fires in Canada as well. We've had all of Europe be in a whole total heat swamp, as well as America as well. So literally one of the hottest years on record since records began. So this is almost like the Hawaiian people looking for that assistance that they'll need from the rest of the world. Yeah. And hopefully state funding as well. Here in the second card position here, we've got the Fool card. Now, obviously, we can take the broader interpretation from this. We know the simple interpretation is something foolish and stuff, and we know that's not the case in terms of the people themselves, but this is complex. On one level, this is talking about the fresh new starts that would need to happen, the rebuilding, the rebuilding. But this can also speak as well as to what the person writing in alluding to, the wrong type of grass, not having the right type of something as bold but as simple as that. So this is going to have to be a reassessment and a reevaluation of fire risks and hazards going forward, because obviously things are going to continue to get hotter. Here we've got the state coming in, so this will be obviously the local state peoples, and hopefully the federal state as well, hopefully coming in to assist with this new start and beginning. Very positive card here, though. Look, I've got the stars. So this speaks of rejuvenation, usually rejuvenation. And look, there's plenty of water, thank goodness, in this imagery here. So it does seem, after some state assistance, there could be rejuvenation. And we've got the 8 of Wands, things moving forward quickly. But these wands also, as well, as you see, have green shoots on them. So I think there will be rebuilding, although I do think the ladies have a point about the hesitation sometimes after all of the, the goodwill. And we have this relentless news cycle where, everything is turned over. Anything else?
Just a little bit more on that from Queen of Core. Thank you, Queen. The problem is a lot of the buildings were illegal because people were poor and they just put up a structure to have grandma and uncle in the structure, and they, of course, won't be covered by insurance.
It's devastating, isn't it? It's absolutely devastating, my goodness. But, you know, obviously hopes, thoughts, prayers. Overall, though, it does look like rejuvenation is coming. But of course, that city can never be the same again. It's flat. It's ash. It's literally ash. It's a fresh start, like that Fool card in a way. Okay, ladies, are we ready for the next question?
Yes.
Okay, now we're going to jump in our esoteric aeroplane and we're going to go to Niger. Yeah, because, you know, I always got to have an international question in there somewhere. This will be more American focused on this occasion, but I thought it's time to talk about Niger. Now, for those that may or may not be aware, there is a kind of almost civil war / coup going on in Niger right now, and it's reached such proportions that the other African nations are thinking of intervening. And just to make reference again to Lion's Gate, Lion's Gate is a time for developing personal leadership as well, but you will notice around the world, there are often these shifts in power, and sadly, there's often coups and sometimes assassinations, like what happened recently in Ecuador. So a couple of Lion's Gates ago, the Taliban got in power. This year, we now have, of course, the situation in Niger. And there was a situation, I wrote it down, I might have to do it for Thursday Fry Up, where sadly someone got assassinated in Ecuador as well. I think the opposition leader, something like that. So there's a lot of tension going on. So the question is, what's happening in Niger and what's the likely outcome?
Okay, let me give you a bit of background there.
Oh, please do.
Because it was colonized by the French, I'll call it Niger.
Oh, Niger.
It sounds so much better, doesn't it, really?
Yeah.
But why all this stuff going on there? They are huge producers of particular resources that France needs for their reactors.
Oh.
It's just uranium, it's something else. I can't remember this minute, but I looked it up during the week, and that's why France is threatening as well as other African states, because it's about these resources, as always.
Oh, very interesting cards. Who is ready to go? And I can click up on some comments as well. So
I'm still going. Are you ready, Lady G?
No, I'm still pulling as well.
Okay. Do you want me to?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, if that's not too controversial for some people.
No, I think we can go.
About that once upon a time. How dare you? You know, it's just. All right, I'm going to pull. Very interesting cards. No major arcana, but the ones I've got are interesting. Look at this. First card that comes out straight away, 7 of Cups. So this, of course, is talking about the confused nature and situation of the whole thing. Not only is it discombobulation, but when we think in the context of potentially other African states getting involved, this can also talk about the situation in Niger, showing that no one is in overall control. It is a totally nebulous situation, multiple options and choices to be made. The outcome is not clear because this has come to symbolize the card. So it also shows that everyone may interfere. Maybe lots of people have various stakes in the outcome of Niger, which may not be obvious to us, but it is to them, and that is a complicating factor. Certainly not a simple card. In the obstacle position here is stillness itself, because, of course, the 4 of Swords can speak about death and rest, but it can mean to be wounded in battle. But it is also a card of contemplation, reflection, calmness, normally pondering the artwork up in the corner. But it's turned up in the obstacle position. So we have what? The opposite of calm. The situation is, not great. We have the 2 of Wands that turns up this time. For Maui, it was the 3 of Wands. For Niger, it is the 2 of Wands. So again, this is a card of what? Speculation, looking outward, potentially contemplating choices and decisions to be made. Also as well, potential support and assistance, because this man, of course, is looking at the globe. So this can also speak to as well to France's interest as well, because there is an international flavor to this card. So France is obviously looking there and going, you know, this isn't so great, you know, and they want to kind of, you know, they still want to keep their stuff going without me being too controversial. Let's leave it at that. Here we see the Two of Cups, which of course is the card of partnerships, making deals and stuff like that. So for me, I am hoping that due to probably likely external influences, but potentially the influence of France or some other international country, maybe some kind of plea deal or peace deal can be arrived at. However, the outcome card, Two of Swords, it shows it's still going to be a bit dicey. It's not nailed down. So I think they're going to try and get some peace agreement, but whether or not that peace agreement will be stuck to, I'm not sure. Who's ready to go next?
I can
if you like.
Oh, go ahead, Lena.
Yeah, none of these cards are good. We start with the false knight, who here as the Knight of Cups, I suspect is the coup leader promising the people something different.
Of course.
Every coup leader comes in saying we'll get rid of the corrupt regime, only to become a corrupt regime.
Yeah.
And let's not just point the finger at the developing world with this. You know, it happens everywhere. But look at this. The card of loss, the devil. It gets worse. Yeah.
Oh, did you get
Here we go with the notes. People will be in battle for quite some time, and there isn't an easy answer to this. That just makes me so sad.
Oh, my goodness.
I'll just add one thing from David Bent here in the comments. Thanks, David. World governments are ruled by big corporations, and until that changes, no chance for change. And that's exactly what we're looking at.
Bang on.
Yeah.
Bang on.
And everywhere.
Yeah, bang on. Bang on. Lady G, what do you have?
Okay, well, at the center of it, we have a new action. It could be tied to money or just fishy things, conversations going on now with that. Going into it, we have what's being handed back, trying to find some justice, but we have new obstacles coming in the way with that. The challenge is some other secrets, knowledge to be known, then an ending's coming up, because we have the darker elements again, trying to figure a way to go forward, to make money off of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Similar cards again. It's kind of spooky, isn't it? We are literally thousands of miles apart, and it's just
it's extraordinary how that happens. I love it.
And we've got over 1,400 in the house. My
awesome,
God,
guys.
Amazing. Thank you so much for the support. We really appreciate it. We really do. Ladies, are you ready for the next question?
Absolutely.
All right. So here we are. Oh, question up. Now, look, this could be, we could be setting the house on fire again, folks. But you know what? I read the questions. Look, these are your question, guys, not ours. Yours. Anyway, so Julie S. has asked, will Hunter Biden really go to prison? Will he impact his father's run negatively? Thank you all.
Okay. Well,
let's just pull, as you know, we just pull the cards and we just say what we see. And thank you guys as well for submitting your questions and stuff and taking that time. We really do appreciate it. So, will Hunter Biden really go to prison? I mean, he's having a rotten time, isn't he? Bloody hell. I mean, that honestly, digression, guys. I'm having a Lena moment here, guys. I'm having a Lena. Marjorie Taylor Greene, she thinks she's Miley Cyrus. I think she thinks she's the equivalent of Miley Cyrus on her wrecking ball. Now, obviously, Miley is a very talented and brilliant person. I'm not saying Miley's like her. I'm saying Marjorie Taylor Greene thinks she's the Miley Cyrus of conservative politics. What she did in those courts, people must remember how outrageous that was. Presenting those pictures. Wow. I mean, that's something.
Okay, I can go if you like.
Go for it.
Yeah.
I think this is two questions in one. Will Hunter go to jail? But whether he does or doesn't, will it impact Joe Biden's run? Right.
Yeah.
Because the cards sort of just went there. Wheel of Fortune, Karma, Fate, and Destiny. This is playing out. It is a Shakespearean tragedy in itself for that family. You know, what Joe and Hunter have experienced, but he is a loose cannon. This is the 10 of Cups, and so often for me, it's pretending to be a happy family. And I think Joe will put his best face on it. Temperance, I don't think it's a vote winner or loser. I think most people either will just not concern themselves with it and just vote for him anyway, or they actually might not care. Everyone's got the troubled soul in the family. And I think he's now paid his back taxes. I'm not seeing jail here in these cards, by the way. But there could be other misdemeanors because you're dealing with a long-term entrenched addiction. And I don't read this as a happy outcome, more necessarily, I think more excess. So there might be more episodes around Hunter's behaviour, but I don't think it's a deal breaker. And I don't think he'll go to jail.
Okay. Lady G, what do you have?
Well, at the center of it, I have the new action. Above it, they're charging forward again, and the foundation is, of course, his monetary stuff. Going into it, we have this is moving and new things are coming out. But above it, we have them trying to manipulate. And underneath of it, there will be those that are supporters on both sides, you know, the double-edged sword thing we have. The challenges being worked on and still things to come out. Above it, we have justice, and underneath of it, we have this mentally trying to stick the swords in his back. So, you know, we'll have to see. Now, I don't see him going to jail either, but we know the other side, the Repugly Uglies, get as ugly as they can. And, of course, with the secret things, they were going to say, we've got other information, you know, that never comes out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Fascinating. All right, I'll read my cards as well. And again, two of my, it's like we've been swapping decks. It's ridiculous. So it's remarkable. And we've got just over 1,500 who have joined us now as well. Thank you guys so much. Guys. So here we are. So very often when we're talking political tarot, guess what? The Four of Wands often represents the White House. Can't make this stuff up. There we are. So this, of course, is concerning the White House, of course. Hunter Biden is Joe Biden's son. If we look in the obstacle position, this has put a cat amongst the pigeons. Of course, it has. There's argy-bargy, backwards and forwards. But this is also talking about the GOP and their influence as well on matters of power and how they're really trying to create as much cappuccino as they can out of this as possible. As I said back in November, I said once they've got the House, it's all going to be Biden and Hunter Biden's laptop and all that stuff and gumming up the works, which has proved to be true because, of course, they've got nothing else to talk about. If we look here, this is here you've got to use every trick in the book, So in a way, it can kind of explain both situations. I think on a certain level with Hunter Biden, as we would say in UK politics, I think the US as well, we say this is baked in. Yeah, in the sense of the Hunter Biden thing has been dragging on for so long. I don't think it's going to change anyone's minds.
No.
Yeah.
I don't think it is. People who are voting independent, this is water under the bridge. Likewise, GOP, which would be voting Democrat anyway. And even for the Democrats, people just like, look, this saga's just been dragging on for ages. But nonetheless, the GOP are still going to try and pull rabbits out of hats. Yeah. One of the things I say is this: evil does not sleep. Just like that. Here they are trying their best to kind of chew everything up. Here is Joe Biden. Here we are, the king of cups. There he is, blessed him, sitting there just like, my errant son, what can I do? I love him, but, we all know drugs and all that stuff is not easy. Every family has been touched by some kind of this in some kind of way, almost every family. So that's him there. And what is it about? It's about the money. Yeah, it's about the money. Did he pay his taxes? Didn't he pay his taxes? Did Joe Biden, was he involved in backhanders and all this kind of stuff? But what this also shows as well, that there are a lot of people who are still prepared to put money in the GOP's position to keep funding all of this because it's exactly, they want to keep the cappuccino going. That's the best way I can describe it. So will Hunter go to jail? It's not looking like it here from my cards, but the GOP are really, really going to try. But I think there might be a rabbit might be pulled out of the hat for Hunter Biden. Anything else to add to that, ladies?
Well, I'd like to thank Kathleen O'Malley. Thank you for that donation. That's very generous.
Thank you.
Thanks heaps.
Thanks.
Yes, Benghazi. It's just they're whistling in the dark. And the Dems never come back. This could have been killed in the crib if the Dems spoke up. The first time Hunter's name was mentioned and say, it's probably best we don't go after the kids, given what the kids and Trump org have been up to, and given the $2 billion handshake from that Kushner got, they could have battered it back and made it scary territory for the GOP 4 years ago. But they didn't. Yeah.
I know. It's a tricky one, isn't it? It's such a tricky one. Oh, okay. Shall we do a one-card pull?
Oh, sure. Love this.
All right. So here, so Joan Baker, because there was a few things that came in. What? Let's see. No, we're still doing pretty good on time. Yeah. Anyway, so Joan Baker has asked, hi, Hogarth, Lena, and Lady G. Will Jack Smith get the date? Now, she may have written it the American way, so correct me if I'm wrong, because she's written 1/2/2024.
2nd of January.
Yeah.
So it is the 2nd of January. Okay, fine. Okay. Because Americans, you guys put the month first.
Yes.
I'm not going to say anything about that.
No.
So the 2nd of January, he has requested for the Jan 6th case against the Yeti. And she said, I sure hope it is televised so the American people can see how the US justice system is supposed to work. So the question is, will Jack Smith get his date of the 2nd of January 24? This is the first I'm hearing it. Can you ladies corroborate that? I've not heard anything yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what he's asking for.
Okay. Well, let's see. Will he get it? Will Jack Smith?
Sorry, just say the question for me again.
So they said hello, and basically the question is, will Jack Smith get the date of the 2nd of January 2024 that he requested for the Jan 6th case against the Yeti?
So it's a one-carder.
Yeah. So, she also said if he continues to run his mouth, that they will bring it even closer, that the trial will be held earlier. The more he, keeps his mouth flapping, the quicker they're going to have the trial.
It's a very clever maneuver. Good on her.
Wow. Well, you know what I've been saying, guys. As you know, ad nauseum, I said once October hits for Duck Larange, even worse. Anyway, let's go after 3. 1, 2, 3.
What did I get? Oh.
Ooh, okay, Lena, how do you interpret your card?
Well, I'm thinking this is her looking very closely at what is going on. And so for now, I think she would probably agree to it. But it's in the Yeti's hands, all of this, whether it gets brought forward or not.
Exactly.
But I think this is an agreement to that date is how I see it for now.
Wow.
Lady G.
Lady G?
Well, I think they're looking to retire him and take him out of commission. It's go ahead. Go ahead. Open your mouth again.
Yeah. And here with my card, the moon is like, can he contain his own madness enough to keep his mouth shut? Because as we know, the lobster and the howling at the moon is always happening with Duck Larange, and it's going to be tough for him to keep quiet. And surely by now he knows if he keeps running his lips, that's it. He's going to be in the clink.
I know. And I think what she's cleverly done for the first time in his adult life has someone actually, I think, outfoxed him in the sense before others have said you mustn't do that. And he just goes, well, I do. And I'm going to do it again. And nothing happens.
Yeah.
So we will see.
We will see. Are we ready for the next question?
Yes.
All right. Now, this one, I think we can get Shakespeare involved in this one as well. It's a DeJoy question because I don't think we've had Shakespeare's The Bard's opinion on DeJoy. But just before we do the question and the Bard, Teresa in the comments, and you guys, I'm sure everyone else knows this as well. Apparently, in Florida, they have just removed Shakespeare, the Bard, from the high school curriculum or something. Have you heard about this?
No, but nothing shocks me. You know,
it's absolute. But oh, here we are. Oh, what's this? Oh, yes, something they both had candidates. So Teresa was here. Was just talking about that. Teresa had the. But sorry, I butchered a bit, Teresa. But I mentioned she wrote in the comments about the Bard. Actually, where is it? Anyway, that's something that they're planning to do.
The ban on the Bard is true. Oh no!
I mean, can you believe it? Yeah, where is it? I'm trying to find Teresa. Where are you? I can't remember exactly what she said. So, here she is. She said, unbelievable week in Florida. They are pulling Shakespeare out of the high school curriculum, the Bard. Not a question, but, you know, she just wanted to state that. Isn't that astonishing? But question number 5. And this is coming from Julie McNeely. Thank you, Julie, for your question. Will Louis DeJoy be replaced before the next election cycle? He's a problem for those who use absentee and mail-in ballots, especially those in the military serving overseas. Many ballots were late or lost. And interesting one, isn't it? Because DeJoy is still around. I remember a lot of people saying he was going to be gone, and he's still there. So
I think the real question is, why didn't they get rid of him on day 2? Why is he still there? Not will he be gone?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, maybe that the cards that we pull could actually answer both. Why is he still there? Why is he not gone? Let's just see what the cards have to say, and then we'll see what Shakespeare thinks of DeJoy. We already know what he thinks of DeSantis.
DeJoy. Will DeJoy finally be removed? What's wrong with the Democrats? I'm sorry. It's such an important position. He was spectacularly unqualified for it. You know.
Maybe it's that K2 in the first house, Lena. Remember when I looked at their chart?
You're right.
In the
I
first
quote that
house.
all the time now.
Yeah. K2 is a mute planet, unfortunately. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, who's ready to go?
Well, my cards are, but I'm not. So, Lady G.
Lady G, you ready?
Okay, well, I'll give it a run here. We have the people involved with this going into it, wanting to charge forward with the club because of he's still abusing things. They still are looking at his abuses that he had. The challenge is him hanging on, but they have more investigations going. So hopefully they will pull something out of the hat and get rid of it. Now, I guess it's just not as easy as going in and just taking him out of commission. I guess there is something, some kind of a, I don't know what the hang up is, but they can't.
Well, there's a board which is fair enough. You know, the Postmaster General is appointed by a board, but what's wrong with the board?
Yeah.
And isn't 4 years enough to do an inquiry? I mean,
exactly.
Yeah. Lena, what do you have?
I've got juicy cards. I hope there's a bit of momentum here. So here's the 8 of Wands.
Oh, stop it. Stop it.
The Ace of Pentacles, maybe someone new. Imagine that. But this is a loss in the middle of the reading, and I'm not quite sure that's what held me up. A loss for him, or a loss for people who thought they'd just got rid of him. But there is the card of loss. But if they don't, he will burn it down.
Yeah.
You know, and so many people vote by mail. And I'm sorry, Dems, you need to pull some backdoor strings or whatever has to happen, or expand the board by however many people to get, this is in the best interests of 360 million people. Get onto it, or this.
Wow. Okay. So, the cards that I've got. So funny. Well, not funny. I mean, in the sense of that they just keep repeating. Here we are. 5 of Swords, which we, Chuck, 5 of Swords, which we know is what? An abuse of power. It is nakedly obvious now. This man was implicated again very early on, has pretty much, like Duc Larange, confessed to his crimes, pretty much saying, oh, I did this and I did that, or other people directly implicating him in any case. So here we are, abuse of power. Yeah. Why is this not being dealt with? This is interesting. Look at the obstacle card. Now, the obstacle card here turns out to be the Queen of Wands. Now, this is quite an interesting card to have as the obstacle. When she's in her more benevolent guise, shall we say, she is the organizer, the one that brings people together and all of that kind of stuff and uses her intuition. However, this card is turned up in the obstacle position. And this can actually mean someone who uses their manipulating abilities to kind of skew things in the way that they want. Could this be elements of the board who are supposed to be doing this oversight? Either way, there's someone manipulative there, using their intuition to maintain the status quo. It's outrageous that this guy should still be in position given how important the ballots are in. But anyway, here, 10 of Wands, graft. Getting these people out the board and getting him out of his position is probably going to be a piece of work, which is probably why it hasn't happened already. Even though here, 7 of Swords, clearly someone trying to get away with something, stealing something, or hiding people's votes, or saying, oh, they were lost. Oh, we lost the bag. Oh, they arrived too late. So here we can see the scheming and the machinations. However, things will move forward quickly at some point. I am hoping, kind of like Lena says, that the Dems are going to cook something up. This is a matter of urgency. He cannot.
Yeah, this is a big deal.
There. Yeah, he cannot stay there. So It's looking like there's manipulation on some level in regards to the board, which is something that we can't see, which is some kind of machinations, which is probably why he's still there. But let's see what the bard thinks of DeJoy. Who called last time?
I can't remember. I think you should, Lady G.
Okay.
Oh. Actually, I think it was you last time, Lena, actually, if I remember correctly. Okay. Tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Oh, wait. Again, sorry, my thumbs were clicking too much. Sorry.
Stop.
Oh, this is interesting. All right, so this is what the bard has to say. Away, you cut-purse rascal, you filthy bung, away. And that's from Henry IV, part 2. And then on the other page, from As You Like It, it says, in civility thou seemest so empty. Oh, and that's from As You Like It. So I think, I think that's quite clear what the bard thinks of.
Well,
of
on
DeJoy.
this channel, we will keep the bard alive.
Yes.
Absolutely. How interesting. God, wouldn't it be funny that you know, if can you imagine if that Florida douchebaggery managed to watch this channel, was like, let's cancel the bard, we hadn't thought of Shakespeare, let's
I know.
he goes around all the different channels thinking of what he can cut from the Own the Libs movement, you know. My goodness.
Well,
Oh.
I think that he needs to change his name over there. First name Dick, last name Tater.
Yeah, really.
Absolutely.
Totally.
My goodness.
Christine's and some others have said the post office is supposed to be protected by the Constitution. And we all know the capitalist class want to make money off the post office. And this is why they're dragging their heels. So, sorry, Dems, a little bit more urgency.
Yeah, it's too important. It's too important. We know how important these things are. Okay, we've got time to squeeze in one more question. So this is coming from Virgo Girl. There we are, Virgo Girl. And this was also asked as well by Laurie Wallachine. So they said, hi, Hogarth, Lena, and Lady G. An article written by 2 constitutional scholars from the Federalist Society have made an argument for the 14th Amendment to be applied against Trump being able to run for any office due to his involvement with Jan 6. Is this going to grow legs or will it be brushed under the carpet? I think that's what she said.
Right.
That's a cracker, isn't it? That's a cracker.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've got 1,700 of you with us now. Thank you so much, guys. And if you're watching us on a Sunday as well, happy Sunday. And I hope you're having a nice cup of coffee as you watch us.
Oh, shock horror. I got up this morning at dawn to do this program, as I do on a Sunday. We'd run out of coffee.
Oh, bleak.
No,
Oh, bleak.
no.
And we only had a pack of something that someone had left, a visitor had left, and it's vanilla coffee or something. Dreadful.
So it was a bit weak and feeble for you, was it? Oh, bless. I don't mind a bit of vanilla coffee now and again, but I think Lena needs the stronger stuff, guys. Send us some coffee.
So the 14th Amendment, yes, I saw that, conservative scholars saying that, but...
Yeah, really? We'll have to see. I mean, if they do move, but then who would be the replacement? But I don't know, maybe even they are reaching their fill. I don't know. Maybe they're just crunching the numbers and they can see that it's not looking great for Duck Larange. Pragmatism, cold pragmatism. That's the sense I get. Wow. Okay. I'm having a funny night tonight. I get so many cards coming back. Ladies, which of you are looking to go?
I can go if you want.
Go for it.
I think these are with this Nine of Pentacles, these are the reasonable conservative voices that are left. You know, the 13 people left in America who were conservatives and who now contribute to the social discourse. They're doing their best, and they're pointing out an extremely valid legal issue with this ace. However, theft here and a plan. So I'm not seeing it.
Right, carry on. This is extraordinary.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it'll fly, unfortunately, because the greatest nation on earth seems to think it's all right for this man to offend 365 days of the year and still have him in the primaries and doing well.
Wow. Lady G, what do you have?
Well, going into it was what's being anchored in, and they're talking about protecting by the Federalists. Now, usually I don't like the Federalists at all, but these guys are right on. We've got at the center of it a victory, but going into it, we have the desires, a wish fulfilling, wanted to do it, and they're out there talking about it, the reality of this. But we have the challenge. People are not listening. And again, we still will go forward with the burden of carrying this. So whether they'll be able to get enough people on it and get him out is another story. But they're right. He should not be able to hold office at all. That's how they got rid of this Yahoo that's over the hill from me, the cowboy, the crazy cowboy. Because they used that 14th, and they challenged it in court, and they were able to get him out, and he can no longer hold office. So if they were able to get him out, why not 45? It has been used successfully.
Fascinating. Okay.
You've got Hoagie.
As you can see, folks, this has been synchronization central. I mean, even for us, we've all been getting the same cards, and the same cards coming back. It's astonishing. So looky here. Three of Wands comes back. So here's the Federalist Society at long last, dry and crusty as they are. They're looking and they're like, you know what? We might need someone else. They're literally scanning the shoreline, the skyline, waiting for their ships to come in. But, there's all these blasted flushes. They're like, we need to find something else, because this is the card of what? Speculation, looking outward, looking for answers, yeah? But look what the obstacle card is. This is ironic. Look, it's the sword of truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the sword of truth. So they're in a quandary, this lot, because on one hand they backed, the flamingo Yeti, yeah, they're the ones that bloody put him in with all of his Trump blasphemy and all of his horrendous stuff, and it seems, wow, the Federalist Society are like, we're supposed to defend the law.
Oh no, there's a concept.
Wow, so it's like they're having a come to Jesus moment long after the stone was rolled away and he's gone up to heaven. Yeah, it's just like, so they're trying to kind of put the horse back in the stable. Yeah. If we look here in the middle card, this really does explain what it's all about. Look, the Knight of Pentacles, which can also be known as the mercenary. So again, the money changing hands. I think they very much saw Trump as their winning ticket. But as we know, this is one of the slowest cards in the deck. The only card slower than this is the Four of Swords, and that guy's basically dead. Yeah?
Lying down.
Lying down. So it's taken them a long time for the penny to drop. Yeah? And now they're realizing, this isn't looking so good. I mean, it's only taken them 8 years. Anyway, look here. Queen of Wands, yeah, they needed to cook up a plan here. They need to cook something up. I think behind the scenes, they're going to be seeing if they can gather support for this, because for them, even for them, this would still be a very controversial move. For them to even utter the words that they're actually talking about this is extraordinary in itself. So they're talking, they're debating, they're using their intuition. I mean, but look at this. King of Swords as the outcome. Folks, will they do it? Will they use that sword? Because look, here we've got two prominent swords that have come out. Sword of Truth and the King of Swords. So I'm going to say maybe. But it would be a miracle, I think. Anything to add
it's
to that?
in the miracle class, because the middle of the road GOP are afraid of the base.
Yeah.
So that you've got the outright nutters like MTG, and the rest are intimidated by their own voters. That is not a healthy position to be in.
Exactly. And many of them say stuff off the record that they know they can't say in public. So yes, very interesting. But I'm hopeful with that last card.
Yeah.
Ladies, can you believe it? It's gone. The hour's gone. It's gone in a flash. So thank you, everyone, for joining us for the show. As usual, we really appreciate your support, your love and support. I hope you found the questions interesting. And I think that it was very dynamic questions this week. Ladies, any closing thoughts before we go?
Yes, I'd like to thank Catherine for her donation. That's very kind. Thanks, Catherine.
Yes, thank you. And I just say that, if he gets convicted on January 6th, then they will move and say, well, now we've got absolutely confirmation and we can get rid of him with the 14th Amendment.
I hope so.
Fingers crossed. Let's see what happened, folks. I'm still sticking with my timeline. As you know, I said from August, things will really get bad for him. And then I said from October, potentially even worse. So he may be able to not keep his mouth stum, and he might give it all of that. And if he gives it all of that, then he could be seeing himself sooner in court than he planned. But, we will see what happens. Thoughts and prayers, of course, to the people of Hawaii. Thoughts and prayers too, again, to Cash, Peter and Olive. Cash, Peters and Olives, and hope for as peaceful transition as possible. Thank you, everyone, again, for joining us. And, of course, we will see you next week. And, of course, don't forget to like and subscribe. And the ladies' channels are in the link as well. So please subscribe to them, too, if you've enjoyed the insights. And hopefully you were entertained as well. So we'll see you next week, everyone. And much love. Mwah! Yeah.
Ciao, guys.
All right. Bye for now. All right, let's see. Let's see if now click the button. Let's see if it's actually going to let me end the show. Here we are.